AmandaLand. Y'all, we are very lucky and it is very fortuitous that you have joined today. Oh, wow, I'm on the show.
You made it.
I made it. We are joined by, I feel like astrologist is just too basic of a, like I feel like there has to be, there's like a word before astrologist that if you're not using that I need you to find, because you're not just an astrologist. I've met astrologists. You're like a prophetess.
Ooh, the Oracle?
Yeah. The Loracle.
The Lord. I knew I could count on a Mercury in Gemini person to give me the right title.
The Loracle.
The Lord.
Are you able to turn your mic up at all?
Let me see. My mic.
I feel like you're a little low, and I'm trying to turn it up on my end, but
Okay. Is this better?
yes.
Okay.
And you are giving us such Asian shimmer shine flavor today. Like, this is very Asian, rich Asian auntie. This is very
I dressed up for you.
this is very that. So for those who don't know, Laura Chung, I don't know if you know this. You know, you were on our first episode of Views from AmandaLand.
I was?
Yes, you were my first. You were literally the first. It was Roy Wood Jr. and you.
Oh my gosh, I'm so honored.
So I'm very happy to welcome you back. It's been a year and
Yes.
a couple like little weeks of change. And when you came on, you gave us the horoscope, the reading, so to speak, of the United States. And but I know that you look at things comprehensively. So even when you're talking about the US, you're talking about it within the context of the world, which for the record, a lot of people don't. They just kind of think about the US as if it's in its own silo. So I'm going to leave the floor to you.
Okay.
Take us on a journey.
Okay. Well, we could do it one of two ways. We could do it more conversationally, or I did prepare slides.
Give us
So,
slides.
okay. I see this present button.
Yes.
So,
you're able to access that.
Okay, share screen. Can I allow share screen? Oops.
There you are.
Okay, wait.
Bam. Oh, wait.
Oh
my gosh.
I think I clicked the wrong thing.
I think you go present, and then you go slides at the top.
Slides. Okay. Oh, your computer?
Yep.
Oh, but they're on my computer, so I just want to share the screen. Okay.
Okay. So you can share the screen.
Okay. Can I do this?
Yep, and then make it full screen.
Can you see this?
I can. Yes.
Okay.
But make it the viewer. There we go.
This? Okay.
This picture. I know this GIF so well.
Okay, the only thing is I can't see your face or anything. I just see
you
my
can't
screen.
See me. Oh, okay.
No.
We can see you. Okay.
Okay, good. And I can't see my notes, so I'm gonna try my best to do this off of memorization.
You have it in your phone?
I do.
There we go.
Okay. Look at you being so
listen.
Yeah, and my brain is so full. So if I have to look at my notes, I might have to do that. Okay.
Why is your brain so full? I mean, I know why.
Oh my God. Because there's so many dates and like things that I think I want to share, but I know we have, how much time do we have? Like 30 minutes?
However long you want.
Okay. But at the end of this, I want to give people something helpful, like how to
Yes.
use this astrology, because I don't want to just like trauma dump on you and be like,
Yep.
this is all happening and goodbye. Um,
Peace.
because Bye. Because ultimately it's us preparing ourselves for what's coming. It's like astrological weather, just as if you were listening to the weather report and the weatherman says it's going to rain or it's going to snow. You want to like dress appropriately. You want to be
Yes.
prepared for something.
Yep.
So, and when I've done these things, when I've done these reports for other, podcasts and stuff, I always lead with, I don't mean to fearmonger, but I think a little fear is helpful now at this
Yeah.
point in 2026, not for you to be in your trigger response, but for you to do something.
Yes.
2026 is the year to act. And
Yep.
I think when I came on last year, I said this is the preparatory year. 2025 is like the glimpse, the preview. And now we're in it. And I mean, we all see we are in it 2 weeks into 2026.
In it.
We're in it. Okay, so I'm going to basically show the major astrological transits. I'm not going to show all of them, but some of them, and then how it relates to us as a collective. And if you want to know how this impacts you at an individual level, I am teaching Astrology 101 again. Amanda took my class.
I feel like I should take it
Uh,
again.
Oh, well, we start next Wednesday. So if anybody's interested, you can follow up and learn from me how to read your natal chart. So I think I've gone through all the disclaimers. So are we ready?
Mm-hmm.
You're like, eh. Okay. So the first major transit is January 26th, which is this month.
Okay.
Neptune will enter the sign of Aries. And we experienced this transit last summer between March and November. And Neptune is the planet that is about our imagination, our dreams. It is like the illusion. And I did a whole episode of Neptune on my podcast with a fellow astrologer, Camille Michelle Gray, and how we believe the United States uses Neptune and this illusion of white supremacy to sort of like put us in a haze and a fog. And depending on your journey with your white adjacency or your internalized white supremacy is how you start to awaken from that dream, American dream, quote unquote. So a lot of astrologers
Ooh.
relate Neptune and Aries. I could only hear your sound, your like sound effects, because I can't see you. Um,
Because I'm just like, but I want you to turn your mic up a little more because you're saying all the things.
okay. Um, Let me see if I could do that from here. Um, I'm not sure I can do that
There you,
when I'm in the presentation.
you know
Can you
what?
hear
Maybe
me?
just be closer to the mic.
Okay, can you hear me? Is
Yes.
this better? Is this
Yes.
better?
I just feel like you're saying such important things. Like I don't want it
Okay.
to be lost.
Okay.
How do you
Let
feel in the
me
chat? Do y'all feel like you can hear her fine and everything? Because it could be just me. All right, they've all said that they can hear you fine. So let me just shut it up.
Oh, okay. So back to, can you hear me?
Yes. And I also want to
Okay.
shout out Rolando because you just got them before I could.
Are
Can you
people
hear
not
me?
behaving? Are people not
No, they're not.
behaving?
People are in here like, Amanda, you're beyond reproach and it's hard to consume your content. So then don't.
Hmm. Oy.
Don't consume it. I am above reproach by strangers on the internet behind fake names and fake faces. Correct. I am above I am reproach. What is it? Unreproachable? Yeah. You want to see me in the street and have a conversation per se, then we can do that. But no, I am above the reproach of strangers on the internet. That is correct. Very
Hmm.
astute. Kudos to them. They are not hiding behind they are not in a cloud of Neptune. They see the truth.
Oh my
So I
goodness.
love what you said about, so Neptune is like, but I love what you said about like the wielding of the dreaminess of Neptune, but for a duplicitous purpose, because I feel like I
Hmm.
would never, you know what I mean? Like I would never
Hmm.
consider that, but then we have to remember there's like shadow and light to everything.
Yes. And Neptune is it also symbolizes like the film industry because when Neptune entered Aries around the Civil War is when film photography was invented.
Oh,
So I also like as a positive transit, what I liked about Neptune and Aries last summer, we got Sinners and we got K-pop Demon Hunters,
yes,
and
we
there were
did.
films created by the global majority in and like original content, from the POV of people of the global majority. And
Yeah.
so I did like that aspect of that transit. And
Hmm.
hopefully, when Neptune enters Aries for the next 14 years, we get more like original art from people of the global majority in terms of film and art and music.
Hmm. Yep.
Yep. So a lot of astrologers, they relate this transit to the Civil War because that was the last time Neptune entered Aries. And um, so we are already in a civil war. I hope
Oh,
everyone is on board with
wait, say
that.
that again.
We are already in a civil war right now
You're right. Yeah, we are.
because I mean, it looks like Minneapolis is sort of the epicenter or it's the start of it. But we saw this last summer too. That was also the rise of ICE and I think it was Los Angeles and
Yeah.
Chicago. We saw that, and yeah, so
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
happening. And at the time when these wars started, the Civil War, and they didn't say we are in war. It just sort of like happened.
We
It
are
was
in war.
it wasn't until like in hindsight these specific events were the catalyst for these moments.
Fatima here said, I don't know what to call this area. It's beyond this era. It's beyond the Civil War. I think for what it's worth, when we're in times that are new times, we use language that we've
Used before, yeah.
known. Yeah.
Hmm.
And then it isn't until we can reflect that we're like, you know what? That might we may need something new for that.
Hmm. Yeah. And yeah, I think our definition of war is limited to what we've experienced previously
Yes.
because I don't think what's happening in Gaza or Sudan are wars,
No.
but they use that word.
Yeah. Because
So,
anything that's just like the height of violence, they're like war.
hmm.
And that's just too generic.
Hmm. Exactly. And for those of you who don't know, the Civil War was between the South and the North, and the South basically fought to keep slavery. I know I'm like just glazing over a lot of the
No, that's the
context, but
crux.
that was the crux. So this war, quote unquote, that we're in is ICE, which are it just seems like it's Trump's or like this administration's private army, right? Would you consider this to be a militia type of thing? Maybe. Um,
Yeah. That's the goal.
yes. Yes. And also during the Neptune and Aries era was the Emancipation Proclamation. And I can't say the word that you use for this, but it's basically, in my opinion, a performative sort of proclamation to free slaves. But it wasn't, Abraham Lincoln didn't actually free the slaves. It was more just a law that was performative, but they like this government didn't do anything in forms of reparations or integrating them into the system.
No, and I mean, he barely passed the 13th Amendment. And then he was assassinated 2 weeks after the Civil War. And any efforts that had been put forth, like Special Field Order 51, which was the 40 acres and a mule. And for the record, that wasn't for everybody. That was just like in a small part of the South. Even
Hmm.
that got retracted, and they took the land back from folks. And then they put
Hmm.
in the black laws. So,
Hmm.
you know, he I will say this. Abraham Lincoln was forced by Black leaders to understand the value of Black people to his goal. And he saw that it was more valuable to have them free than enslaved. But I feel like I mean, he does a speech where he's like, y'all see them with guns, and now you rock with them now because you see them with guns. And that's essentially what he says. And then he's like, um, y'all need to represent because Black people, they deserve a right to pop off too. But as we know, all of these presidents are just basically actors, so they'll say what needs to get said.
Yeah. Yes. And yes. So, also, if anybody has questions, you can pop them in the chat and Amanda can read them to me, but maybe that's
Okay.
for the end.
Yeah.
And then February 13th, Saturn will enter Aries. And again, we experienced this transit last year, between like May and November. And Saturn is the planet of boundaries, borders, the authority hierarchy. And it is a malefic planet, so it does bring challenges, but we need Saturn because Saturn in Greek mythology is Chronos, it's time. It's also a timekeeper in astrology. But Saturn is what's called in its fall in Aries. So Saturn as a planet is about patience and discipline and doing something for the long term, whereas Aries as an archetype is like, let's do it now. And Aries is the archetype of
You are an
war.
Aries, right?
I am an Aries, yes. Which is why I push people, because I just don't think this is a time to be complacent or just like sitting back and waiting for people. Aries is about listening to like reclaiming your inner authority instead of waiting for somebody to tell you what to do, or or waiting for somebody to give you the answers. It's like you have to have that self initiative to be
Yes.
like, because I hear people asking me all the time, what should I be doing?
Oh my
And I'm just like, and maybe it's because I was a latchkey kid. Like I just figured out how to cook. I just figured out
God.
how to do things.
Yes.
I
No,
don't
that's
know.
it's so real. I mean, my friend who does my newsletter, she was telling me yesterday that she told her daughter that they are now living in the 90s, and thus she has implemented some ways in which her daughter has to live in the 90s. So like she can't binge TV shows. She has to watch one show one night a week. And like, you know what I mean? Like she's what she's doing is she's quelling um her instinct to get instant gratification, which is what
Hmm.
I think also leads to
Hmm.
people being like, tell me what to do. Cause it's like you can
Yes.
just type into Google and it will tell you what to do. And it's like people then try and Google people.
Hmm.
They treat people like they are a search engine. Tell me what to
Yes.
do,
Yes.
And I'm like, and I donate to a nonprofit in Kenya that pays for school for Kenyan children. And she was telling me that a lot of the curriculum is not to encourage thought. It's to encourage like a willingness to be led.
Hmm.
Um and so she was like, when she would teach classes, like sometimes they would look at her crazy when she'd be like, "What do you think?" And they'd be like, "Lady, what's the answer? What tell us?" And so I feel like that's we how I feel like in my epiphany of like wanting to do more with this show, I feel like what you're saying is what I'm trying to do, which is like, how do I bring the Aries out of people more? How do I
Yeah.
speak more into people's Aries? And
I
we're
was
about
gonna
to go into 20
say,
years of fire.
yeah. Yes. Well, people are going to be forced to, because the energy this year is a lot of fire and air, and it's going to be the year of the young fire horse, which there's just going to be a lot of momentum. And yeah, I think it's going to be an uncomfortable year for people if you are uncomfortable with change.
Mm-hmm.
So, um, okay, so on February 17th, we have our first solar eclipse in the Leo Aquarius axes, and a solar eclipse is a new moon. And this is at 28 degrees. So just remember that degree and put a pin on it for a moment.
Okay.
February 20th is sort of the biggest transit that astrologers have been looking out for. Saturn and Neptune will come together in a conjunction at 0 degrees of Aries, and 0 degrees in the cardinal signs is a world point. So that is a really big deal. And then on March 3rd, there will be a lunar eclipse at 12 degrees of Virgo. So I just
Okay.
want to go ahead a little bit and show all of you the, can you see this? The chart of, so the inner
Oh,
ring is the United States natal chart. I mean, there's many natal charts, but most astrologers use the Sibley chart. And it's about the time when the Declaration of Independence was signed. And then on the outer wheel is the Emancipation Proclamation on January 1st, 1863. And so as you can see by the circles, the outer ring is when the Emancipation Proclamation
I see what you're saying. So
came
we're
out.
comparing the two.
Yes, because
Okay.
that's like by transit, right?
Yeah.
So you can see where I circled in this bottom half, the United States IC or Imum Coeli, which is the roots of a chart. It's essentially like like the most private section of someone's like natal chart is. And the United States has an IC of 1 degrees of Aries. And
Yes.
so at the time of the Emancipation Proclamation, Neptune was conjunct the United States IC exactly. So
Yes.
something about like people's dreams and freedom was changing at that time, right? That was when this Emancipation Proclamation. And then the opposite was Saturn in Libra, where Saturn has this exaltation conjunct the United States midheaven. And the midheaven in someone's chart is about their public persona, what they're known for. And the United States has a Libra midheaven, which is like the United States is known for supposedly fairness and justice for all, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that Saturn Neptune opposition was the Emancipation Proclamation. And now, February 20th, 2026, Saturn will be in Aries with Neptune on the United States IC. So now we're like completing that opposition, that cycle from that moment, if that makes sense.
What's the significance of completing the cycle?
Something about the United States Foundation is changing again.
Okay.
And it's rhyming with that Emancipation Proclamation chart time with Saturn and Neptune. And like I mentioned when I was speaking about Saturn and
Okay, I
Aries,
get it. I get it. I get it. Just so
yeah,
y'all know,
yeah,
like I have a delayed reaction to everything Laura says about astrology. I have
yeah.
to run it a good 6 times through the processor, and then I'm like, oh,
Yes. But when you get
yeah.
it, I'm like, yes, we did it,
We
Joe.
did it. We did it, Joe.
We did it, Joe. Um, but like I said, the Emancipation Proclamation with Saturn in its exaltation in Libra was sort of like, okay, we're just gonna give them this law. Gosh, and you
You
have a
know what I
word for
call
it.
that? I know you're not
Yes,
allowed to say it, but
but
I call
but
it the here nigga damn law.
yes, but I couldn't say it, so
Oh,
I was
that's
like,
what you were saying earlier that you couldn't
yes.
say.
I was like, I
I was
can't
like, what word is
say
she
it.
saying that she can't say? Yes, these are the here nigga damn laws. Where they're just like,
Yes,
oh, here nigga
yes,
damn.
yes. Because Libra is about fairness, but it can oftentimes be like neutral or
Yes.
performative, right? And
Walk the
Saturn
line,
again
right?
is like, yes. And
Like
so,
trying to be liked by everyone.
yes.
Okay.
But you have to remember what the context is here. We're talking about the United States of
Mhm.
America. And so they're only out for their own interests. Like the
Yes.
United States system is working how it's designed, essentially.
Yeah.
It's working exactly how it was designed for them. but not for anybody who's not a white man.
Well,
So
I think the thing
now,
we also
oh,
have to remember is that the United States was designed to carry out the greater goal of Zionist supremacy, which centers white men.
whiteness. Yeah.
And, the same way that Britain was a tool as well. And that's why Britain and the United States were both used effectively to create Israel,
Mm-hmm.
as a home base for
Mm-hmm.
Zionism. And so, like, when we see the creation of the United States, we are told the Neptunian lie that it was created in the goal of revolution, of freedom, of self-identification, when it was really created in the pursuit of expansion
Mm-hmm.
of the very same folks that they were mad at, or that they claimed they were mad at. Like, they were basically like, we don't want to be taxed by your banks, so we're going to start our own.
Yes.
Like,
Yes. Because
it's slave
every,
owners owning slaves. I mean, it's slaves becoming slave owners.
yes, and every empire needs a myth and a lore that people believe in.
Ooh,
And the
Lord.
thing with Neptune is it's real and you believe in something that's reality until you don't. And so that's why in the last couple of years, the United States was going through its
Oh.
Neptune opposition because the United States has Neptune in Virgo. And for the last 14 years, Neptune has been in Pisces. People have
Mhm.
been
Yes.
waking up to the fact that, oh, the American dream is actually not a dream. You have to put in the labor, you have to
Yeah.
put in the work, you have to be of service to the empire. So
Yeah.
that's why people have been waking up in the last 14 years. And so
And they've been
now,
that work as like somehow um like moral, or like that's like that you serving empire is you doing the right thing, right? Like, that's
yes,
how it's been presented.
yes, yes. Because one aspect of like a shadow aspect of Virgo is being of service and not necessarily sometimes for the better, like for the good of all, you know?
Mm.
So now with Saturn in Aries, Saturn is in its fall. And again, my colleague and I were sort of commiserating on this and saying this is actually good for us, like the people, because we need Saturn in its fall to collapse structures.
Okay.
And because, again, Aries is not a performative sign. It's like, I'm doing this because this is the best for like myself. Hopefully we get out of the individualistic mindset of the United States, but like Saturn and Neptune coming together on the United States IC is for us a good thing, I believe.
Saturn and Neptune coming together on the United States, I see, is a good thing because it
Yes.
destroys structures.
It
Now, to
destroys the
me,
foundation. It dissolves the foundation of the United States, and we get to shape what that looks like.
yes,
But
that's what I was gonna say.
I don't think we're ever going to get ahead until we as a people, specifically white Americans, grapple with what their ancestors did to the indigenous people of Turtle Island and reparations. Like those two things. It's so
Facts.
true because Saturn is also like you reap what you sow. It is the
It's the
god of the
scythe.
land. It's the scythe. It's yes, remember, it's the scythe. And Saturn is the god of the agriculture, of the land, and who
Mm.
literally tilled the land of the United States, built
Mm,
all the wealth of the United States.
mm.
Like that has to be sowed in some way, you know? So unless we as a people of the United States, specifically white Americans, again, I'm going to repeat it, we grapple with that and we all come together and say this portion of the money that the United States has goes to the descendants of, chattel slavery and reparations for the indigenous people of Turtle Island. Like, I don't know how we can go forward, to be
Well, it's a
honest.
karma correction, right?
It
I
is,
mean, it's
yes.
also that, like it's an actual like karma correction. I'm sure it's very science, to every action there's an equal and opposite reaction. Like, it's a
Mhm.
it's a level setter.
It's a law of physics.
It's a law of physics. It's a you know what it is? It's a controlled burn.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and they have to see that the burning of their forest is for the greater good of the whole forest. And
Yes.
they and the problem with that though, to me, Laura, is that it's like it can't be forced upon. It's like when you try and date somebody and like you want them to change, but it's like if they don't want to change, nothing can be done. So then
Yeah.
it becomes like it can't be forced upon. And then I'm like, well,
Yep.
so if it can't be forced upon, then we're really just expecting all these white people to wake up, which is why I'm constantly like, white people who are woken up, you have to be like, it has to be like your literal
Mm-hmm.
like purpose to wake up the white people around you,
Yes.
like sitting eating your Cheerios, like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
what tactic are we going to deploy today?
Mm-hmm. There was this thread on Threads that this like white woman was like, I'm calling upon Kali Ma and Yemeya. And I'm like, girl, stop calling on these goddesses. Talk to your white brothers, white fathers, white sons. I'm like, we don't need you to
Leave
call upon
them
these goddesses.
alone.
Leave them alone. Like they're not even a part of your like pantheon of cosmology. I'm just like, talk to your problematic fathers, brothers. Like that's your role. But
Not you telling, not you hanging up the
oh
phone.
my God, I am such a
She said,
little
what would
I'm
the
such a little
ancestors say? You said, boo. No. So click, click.
like
No.
I'd be all up in those threads. But that's why I speak to people through the lens of spirituality and trying to explain to people that there is like an accrual of accrual. Why can't I pronounce that word? Maybe it's my Asianness coming out. Accrual of karmic debt.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
White people like have epigenetically inherited something. And so in order for you
Yes.
to clear your bloodlines and be the good ancestor, you have to be part of the solution.
It's the same way that like so many of us who are oppressed have intergenerational DNA, right?
Hmm.
Intergenerational trauma. There is no reason why white people would also not have the same effects.
Yeah. Yes.
Deal with it.
I
Saturn.
watched, I know you know Christina Brown, but I watched her video recently of like white people's epigenetics and
Mhm.
I was just like, okay, white people used to eat black people?
Yeah.
What?
Yes.
And then you're walking around saying and
Mhm.
like use black people as like furniture, whatever. And then
Mhm.
you're walking around saying, I'm too scared. Like your
Mhm.
ancestors colonized because they thought they were entitled to.
Yeah. It's the same way like I watched a video the other day of this woman in Zimbabwe and they were asking her about who does she have any like servants? And she's like, yes, I have servants, and I'm very happy with the life we have made here in Zimbabwe. But it is in 1979, and she was like, but I don't see why we would just hand it back over to hand it over to the Africans. I mean, after we have worked so hard to build our lives here, and everyone in the comments was like, stealing is not hard work. Like, stop calling stealing. We worked hard. Like, that's an unfair, disingenuous positioning of what you have done. Because
Hmm.
that's how Americans look at it. Like, we built this country up. No, you broke people down.
They also were just dirty. They brought diseases. Sorry, I know we're going off tangent, but like
Expected.
um so that okay, so that is the Saturn and Neptune conjunction and it's happening a
Mhm.
month from now. So again, like these transits are longer cycles, but the exact is happening on February 20th.
Oh,
Yes, February 20th. So remember back when I said put a pin on the solar eclipse?
yeah.
So the solar eclipse, which also is the Lunar New Year, because the Lunar New Year happens on the new moon in Aquarius every year. Is that also Ramadan? Is that also, I think Ramadan is
Maybe this year.
they I think it's the new moon. Um, so this solar eclipse is happening exactly on the United States natal moon.
Oy.
And the moon in a nation's chart represents
Mhm.
the
The
people.
people.
So us. So I
Okay.
do think that hopefully this portends to an awakening of some kind for us to like really organize, um, because there's a difference between activism and organizing. And I think we need organizing. Didn't Malcolm X say that we're not outnumbered, we're out
Yeah, we're not.
organized?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So that is the solar eclipse. And oh, okay. So how are we doing on time? Should I keep going or
We're
should I?
here. This is the
Okay.
first show of the year. I have things to share, but ultimately we're
Okay.
here. And I knew that I didn't have a second guest today because I knew that this was going to be thorough.
Okay. Okay. Just let me know when you're like, okay, this is too much.
Well, that's the chat. I mean, because I'll sit here and do this with you all day. But
Okay.
considering that we have a high number of viewers and the chat is in the mix, I'm sure
Okay.
everyone is fine.
Okay, great.
You're very good at your
Uh,
job,
okay, great.
and even though you're not employed.
On April 25th, Uranus will enter the sign of Gemini, and we also experienced this last year. So again, 2025 was like the preview of what were kind of these longer cycles. And both Neptune, Uranus, and including Pluto, these are outer planets. So these are like the generational planets. So Uranus and Gemini, so the United States has Uranus and Gemini in its chart, so it always like portends to war and also technological advances. So yeah, that's gonna happen April 25th. On June 9th, I really wanted to add like a juicy, nice little transit for everybody to look out for.
Is
Venus
that with
and
this little mouth with the
yeah. It's like sexy time, juicy day, okay?
Okay.
Because honestly, we need to like dance and make out again, because so many leftists are so depressed and
I really miss making out. I'm so good at it. And I like doing things I'm good at. Like, I really like I'm telling you, like I don't even need to have sex. I just want a good
make
I
out
could have
sesh.
yeah, like a makeout will carry me over for another 2
Yeah.
years. A
Yeah.
solid makeout session. And I mean even like we can just be like above the clothes. We can just be second basing and I would be fine. Ugh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
I mean, I still like remember the nightclub days where you would just like be dancing till 2 a.m. and making out with a stranger. I don't know if people do that anymore because of
I
like
know. The times are
COVID
different.
and the times are different, but
I did
Venus,
that in Cuba. It was a time.
it was a
Can I just
time.
tell a quick sidebar story
Of
that
course.
I walked into the club in Cuba and I spotted an individual and I turned to my homegirl Kiki and I was like, that one. And she was like, okay. And so we went about our lives and we were in the club for a good hour and a half. And then he came up to me.
Ooh, so you manifested?
I manifested it. And the club had like all these different rooms. So it wasn't like we were just like in the same space. I freaking manifested it. I was literally standing at the bar and then I turned to my right and he was right there. And I was like, hello.
Hello.
And man, that was a good solid. We made out on the malecon on the wall.
Ooh, by the water.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a Venus and Jupiter in Cancer sort of moment.
It was a
Yeah.
time. I'll pull up a picture for you all, but continue.
Okay.
They like these types of things. It reminds them that, I've lived a life. I've lived a life, Laura. I've lived a life.
Yes. Oh man.
Right.
Yes.
Oh man.
Um, well, I'm just thinking of life pre,
I know. Pre all
2020
of this.
when, yeah, pre all of like awakening. You know, because with awakening, you can't go back because you can't not see what you see. So I know
With
what you mean.
awakening, you can't go back. You
Yeah.
can't not see what you see. Yeah. Yeah.
Because now
Yeah,
you have a
because you
different,
can't cuz
you you have a different framework of seeing everything, you know?
I mean, you also just like you're either choosing willful ignorance
Mm-hmm.
or you know what I mean? Because that's your only option.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we are here at Fábrica del Arte con Ray, my husband, my Cuban husband. He's gonna come to America and find me.
Amanda, he is fine.
So we are here at Fábrica del Arte con Ray, my husband, my Cuban husband. He's gonna come to America and find me. I've lived a life. Look at Laura's face, y'all.
Wait, I didn't realize he was also really good looking.
That was the requisite. Yes. That was literally the only thing it was based on.
Wow.
I wasn't like making out with his character. It was like, okay, you.
I wasn't making out with this character. Oh my God. Whoa. Wait, I love that this brought us to this side tangent because that's like a good visual of what you can manifest for this transit, y'all.
There you
It's
go.
possible.
It's possible.
It's possible.
Because I really feel like Laura, like these
Um,
people don't really understand that I was that girl. Like, because I really be in here with my glasses and my sweaters, and they don't understand. I was a hot girl. I was out
why
here.
would it, wait, why wouldn't they think that?
I don't know. They don't. They don't. They think I'm an auntie. They think that I'm just, wearing my glasses and teaching. They don't understand. I was in the world.
Listen, we're multifaceted women,
We
okay?
are. Y'all have never seen Laura whine to some reggae. Okay.
I was gonna say, when people see me out in the wild, they're like, wow, you're fun.
Yeah. It was so irritating to me when people were like, I would never invite Amanda to a party. She's too serious. I'm like, what?
That's what I'm
Oh,
saying. Like we leftists, or what I don't know what we even call ourselves, radical revolutionaries. Like that's why I'm saying we have to shake our ass. We have to have fun because these people are depressed and then they start to project their own trauma
that's
onto people in the movement, lateral
yes,
violence. So I think
misery.
healing work and doing the internal work is part of this liberation movement. Yeah.
Absolutely. And it's a necessary part when you're literally your opponents when they say like the cruelty is the goal, like that's not just a catchphrase, that's literally what feeds these people. So like the same thing that you get, like we may get serotonin relief and endorphin relief from, I mean release from seeing cute animals or from dancing or from being around our friends and laughing. They, in some twisted way, they get it from seeing pain. Why am I echoing? I don't know why. But they get it from seeing the misery of others.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And so that's an actual tool against them, is not
Yeah.
letting them make you miserable.
Yeah.
Fuck 'em.
I wanted to try this. I downloaded the slides, if that's okay.
Yeah, because if you bring them up as a PDF, you'll be able to see yourself and see me and all
Yeah.
the things.
Okay, great.
I'm waiting for you.
Oh, it's processing.
Oh, okay.
I
No,
just
I just wanted you to know, like, I'm not like the floor is yours. Um,
I just uploaded them. Okay.
not that echo is giving Galadriel. I could be the most powerful.
Okay. They're uploaded, but how come I can't see them? Oh, there they are. Okay. Yes, this is so much better. Okay, so Venus and Jupiter are the benefics in astrology. So when they come together in the sky, this is such a great day to manifest somebody to make out with, to grow something. Venus is the planet of our relationships, values, what we like want to invest in. Jupiter is the planet of expansion, knowledge, growth. And Jupiter is in its exaltation in Cancer. So this is a day I like had to highlight it to like launch something, do something that just is like, um, I mean, Amanda said she made out with someone by the water. It's like Cancer is a water sign. Cancer is also about nurturing and mothering and protection. So yeah, this is just a great day. And then June 30th, Jupiter will enter the sign of Leo. So again, we're having all of these planets sort of move to fire and air signs. And fire and air are complementary elements because you
They're
need,
dry.
yes, they're dry. You need air to grow fire. Um,
Right. I'm just
and
trying to look think
so
of my
yeah, your notes.
yes, my flashcards.
Um, and then on July 4th, this is definitely a day to maybe be careful, because not only is it the 250th birthday of the United States, there's a Mars and Uranus conjunction in Gemini at 3 degrees. And
Oh,
Mars is the god
war.
of war. In Babylonian astrology, it was the god of death before Pluto came along. It is conflict, anger, action, and Uranus is the planet of revolution and change and revelation. So the
Which was
United
the planet you said that
uh,
was of like technology and stuff?
Uranus.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah. So
Damn it.
yeah, I personally
It's
wouldn't.
very V for Vendetta.
Yeah, I wouldn't go to me personally, I wouldn't just from where it is in my chart, like I wouldn't go out to a public gathering per se. But everybody use your own intuition and free will. But I definitely think something is gonna pop off in the United States, so to speak. Um,
Right. That's why you have the pew pew.
yes, that's why I have the pew pew. So
Someone
either pew.
asked death by technology, and what I get from this combo, Laura, is the like true implementation or like the like a real life demonstration of all the Palantir stuff that we've been hearing about
Mhm,
and all of the surveillance stuff we've been hearing about like coming to a head in like a very real non like unable to be ignored kind of way.
mhm,
And I just saw that basically Tony Blair and Oracle, they are building a competitor to Palantir. So now there's
oh,
going to be, because basically Larry Ellison is a partner with Palantir.
mhm,
And so because of his partnership with Palantir, because he tried to buy Palantir and Palantir was like, absolutely not. But then they let him partner with him. And so he has access because his AI modules have done all the work for Palantir, like have done all the AI work. So he has like all of the, I saw a video about this. So he
mhm,
has all of the like, basically the learning. He has all the
mhm.
knowledge of the building of the systems, and now he's partnered with Tony Blair, and so he's just giving it all to Tony Blair.
Oh,
But there's no honor amongst thieves, you know what I mean? So it's like,
yeah,
yeah, of course that would happen.
that's of course, yeah. Yes, but on the other hand, this could be the United States, the people of the United States fighting back in some way, you know? Wink, wink. Because I've already been seeing, I guess like the what's it called?
Flaw.
He's not a leader of the Black Panther Party, but he's becoming more present on social media. Have you
I
seen him?
literally have a video. Yeah, I think you're talking about this person right here. Hold on.
He's like
One.
walking around with a gigantic
Oh
gun.
no, that's a different brother actually, but I know exactly because
That is
he
he
definitely was like it's Second Amendment rights. I have my gun.
Yes. And he knew all the because the Black Panther Party knew all the laws, right? And
Yeah.
he literally was like section something something of the law code, and he had this gigantic gun, and he basically was like to the cops, y'all are, like get out of here. We don't know what you're
He
even
was like,
doing
y'all are
here.
bitches. Get out of here.
Yes.
He was talking to
Yes.
two cops in Philly, and
Yes.
he was like, y'all are coons. Why are you
Yes.
here?
See,
Look
I
at what
can't
you're
say those
doing.
words.
I feel like you can say coon.
No, I don't
Um,
want to.
okay, well, I'll say it for you. Y'all are
Okay.
coons. And he was like, there's no reason for you to be here. Get out of here. And they were like, you have a nice day. He said, you have a terrible day. You
Yes.
have a terrible day.
Yes. Oh, such a good video. And that to me is Mars and Uranus. It's like the way that he was also just so quick with his words, and he was just like
That
boom,
part.
boom, boom. And how he was just standing there with that gun. I was like, wow, that man has presence. That's Mars Uranus. It's also protecting the neighborhood, right? Because Uranus and Gemini is about protecting your own like smaller community. And yeah, that's like the best way to use this energy.
Oh, I found it.
If yeah.
I have it. Um, I love when I'm able to just pull up what you're
I know,
referring to.
I love this. I love that you have all these like amazing clips to support my
Right?
presentation.
It's just a real Scottie Pippen Jordan
Was y'all.
situation.
It was y'all. You don't like to be labeled in with slave catchers. You shouldn't have taken their whole sellout. You are a sellout. You wearing their shit. You are a sellout. You ain't protecting shit. You got to do whatever they tell you to, including hurt your people. Because you're walking up to me and I don't like you and I don't trust you and I don't got no conversation with you. So unless you're investigating the crime, leave me the fuck alone. I don't care. I got a gun license right here. This is legal. Philadelphia Crime Code 6108. Move your car out of people's way and get the fuck out of my face. Thank you, officer. Have a good day. You have a bad one. Sellout. Fuck out of here. You smiling for a sellout? You know where you came from? Slave catchers hired you to help catch their property, which was us. Slave catcher controls the origin of that bag, you bitch ass nigga. The fuck out of here. Go where you're needed. We don't need your help. Get out the fucking street. Like your supervisor said, get out the fucking street.
Let me just say something for those who don't know, because I do understand that there is a limitation of language, just out of respect for people. And I do pity that y'all are not able to use bitch ass nigga because I don't know that there's any other, how they'll be like, there's no comparable word in the English language
Yes.
for this. Like, I
Yes.
don't know that there's any other comparable word for bitch ass nigga. Like, it's a very specific classification of individual. And I have not, there's no substitute for it. So, like I remember, like some of the worst arguments me and my man ever got into was when I would when I would devolve into, you just being a bitch ass nigga. And that is worse than, like, I could say something about
Yeah.
anything else, but that right there was like,
If I was that cop, I would have been crying.
he probably did cry in the car. He was probably in the shower in the cop locker room, like,
Like that video gave me, I watched it like 20 times. It gave me so much energy. I was like, oh my gosh.
mm-hmm. Because it was also just so unwavering. Like, get out of here.
Yeah.
It was very Black Air Force Ones, Black Tim's energy. And I
Yes.
sure as heck did make sure, and they did wear a Black Tim's, which made perfect sense. Like, it's a
Yes.
very particular type of energy. Also, what y'all don't understand is that Philly cats are really cut different. Like sometimes I think people just think like it's the United States. No, like there's different energies come from different places. Black men in Philly is a whole particular sector. I mean, WB Boys wrote like a whole book on it. Like, I'm
Yeah.
just like, it's
I
different
think
over here.
Philly people are different. They're like on a whole different level.
Well, you also remember how old Philadelphia is.
True. It's OG colony
Yeah.
state. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So here we are. We're just tangential. This actually is actually really helpful because it's letting me bring in like other content,
Mm-hmm.
to balance, not balance, but to like even expound
Expound.
to expound upon what you're talking about.
No, I love it because it makes it less like I'm lecturing, but this is like a conversation,
It's a happy medium. Happy
happy
medium.
medium.
And then there's like Black Panthers just returning. Like Black Panthers are definitely starting to resurface. There's another brother I'm going to show y'all a little later on. Or actually, I mean, can I just show him now since we're on the
Yeah,
topic of Black Panthers?
do it.
This brother right here is, because a lot of folks really only know about the Panthers in like a very kind of pop culture context. And I
Mhm.
talk about the Panthers at length in What Would the Ancestors Say, giving more of an overview of the Panthers as an actual movement that for what people don't understand is that they were a movement that was effective. That's what folks
Mhm.
don't really understand. And that is why they have been, rendered like terrorists and put to the fringe. It's because they were effective.
Mhm.
All power to the people. Chairman Paul Birdsong reporting for Active Community Defense Duty. Listen, two things that I need to run by you. Thing number one is, a lot of people are saying that we should not stand up against ICE because we're standing for people that aren't us. And Black Panthers only stand for black people. That is a lie. Huey P. Newton said that we are internationalists and we stand with all oppressed people no matter what color they are. That's the founder of the Black Panther Party that said that. So everybody who's running around talking about Black Panthers don't stand up for people other than black people don't know a damn thing about the Black Panther Party. That's thing number one. Thing number two, the Black Panther Party created something called the Rainbow Coalition, which is a coalition of Hispanics, Asians, whites, and blacks from all over the world working together to fight oppression. Again, the Black Panthers stood with the Mexicans, stood with the Puerto Ricans and the Dominicans, stood with the Japanese, the Vietnamese. The Black Panthers did a whole campaign to end the Vietnam War because they stood with Vietnam. So for you guys who are talking all of this gibberish about, oh, you guys aren't following traditions of the original, who do you think our leaders are? Aaron Dixon is an original Black Panther, right? Aaron Dixon is an original Black Panther who walked with Huey Newton. That's our leadership. And Billy Che Brooks, that was Fred Hampton's right-hand man. So you guys you sound stupid, to be honest. You sound like you don't really know what you're talking about. Doing a lot of hooting and hollering and don't really know what you're talking about. If you watch Huey Newton's speech, he specifically says, we are not black nationalists. We are internationalists. And we stand with all oppressed people across the globe, no matter what your ethnicity is.
All power to all people.
Mhm. And that's what it's going to take.
Let's get back on track. Well, we was
Yeah.
already on track. I'm hoping people see though, and that's Chairman Paul Birdsong. You can follow him on the Instagrams. There's folks who I really think have thought that the Black Panthers kind of like receded into, I don't know, just some little like club.
Mhm.
And no, the Panthers are still going. And of course, they were suppressed. However, the call is out for there to be a return. And if you're looking for somewhere to find community and to find purpose, find out if there's a Black Panther Party chapter in your town. Mark Wayne is a whole white man, and he had that Panther beret on, y'all. And he was like, that's where I found my home, with the Panthers.
Mhm.
So
Weren't
all
there
power
like
to all
white
people.
Panthers? Weren't there
There
like
were white
Panthers?
Panthers,
Yeah.
which to me doesn't have the same ring to it. It feels very like it feels very Sigmund and Roy, like
Mhm.
Vegas. Like
Can
White
I
Panther.
start the tigers, the yellow tigers?
Yes, I think
'Cause,
there
like,
is. But I think there is the Yellow Panther. I think there is one.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Well, okay, like, but tigers is like it's
That's your thing.
Korean. Yeah, our Korean animals. Maybe I'll
Bring the
start the
tigers out.
tigers.
Start the
I'll bring the
tigers.
tigers. Yeah.
Bring the tigers
I'm gonna
because
start that chapter.
the White Panthers just feels like the name of like a Liz Taylor
Like a Temu version of the
perfume.
Black Panthers.
It just feels like a scent.
Yeah.
White Panther.
White Panther. Oh my
Like, you know what it
gosh.
is? White Panther would be the scent for cougars. Like that's what they would market to cougars.
Yes.
All cougars wear White Panther. Big cat energy.
Oh my gosh.
The answer to the question, who was the man in the video? That is Chairman Paul Birdsong. I actually don't know what chapter he's the chairman of, though. I haven't been able to get there, but you follow him, Laura?
I do? Yeah, I do.
Yeah. Mhm.
That was the same guy from the first video.
Is it?
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
Fucking street.
You know what? I didn't give him all that height. That's the same. So
It's the
it's
same-
Philly. It's Philly.
Yes. I started following him because I was like, who is this man?
Who is that? Wow. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Paul Birdsong. You know I'm gonna get him on the show, right?
I was gonna say, if please
By
get
the
him
end of
on
the
the
day,
show.
I will
Yes.
be reaching out to him.
Yes.
So where did we leave off? We were
on Uranus and Gemini, and this is the Uranus return for the United States and Israel, because Israel was founded on May 14th, 1948. And so look out for a change of what's going to happen in Israel. And then this is also the Uranus return for Joseph Robert Biden Jr., Donald J. Trump, South Korea, Bernie Sanders, and the partition between India and Pakistan via the British. So all of these things that I just said have Uranus and Gemini. So something is going to change with these people and these places. And Uranus is like breaking apart. So I think the Uranus return of the United States is going to possibly break up the Union, break up the United States. I think I said that last year. And for Israel, they're trying to expand their borders, right? So
I
we shall
think that's
see.
what's happening. I think Zionists
Yeah.
are trying to break up the United States so that they can usurp it under the flag of Israel. Like they literally, when they're talking about like Donald Trump will be a third-term president, it's because I think that in their minds, they are going to literally dismantle the United States and state a new country that he would be the president of. Like that's what they have in their minds. And they literally called him like the first Jewish president.
Oh God. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's his Uranus return too. So and then so that's Uranus and Gemini.
So I just want to say something here based on the research that I've been doing. It's not that the United States is trying to become the center of the world, because I think what folks are failing to understand is that none of the decisions that have ever been made have been made independently as Americans. They were made and funded by folks from Europe. And because we don't have that context, we are not seeing how oh, my bad. Adrienne was talking about Israel. Carry on. I should have known that I was wrong. Yes.
She meant
Adrienne's never
Israel.
wrong. So yes.
Yeah.
Go on.
How dare you?
Someone said, Amanda, you need to run the office. Do you see what's happening? There's not going to be no office to run for, y'all. Oh my God, you better run for your life.
Yeah. Somebody said that there's not going to be an election, and I really think that's true.
There's not.
Yeah, there's not going to be an election.
I saw someone say yesterday, like, we have 3 more years of this. And I'm like, oh my gosh. How? It's only been 1 year. How can you think that this is going to end in 3 years? Keep talking. I need some chocolate.
Can you put up the slides again? Because I can't see where we are. Okay, she walked away. So after I said Uranus and Gemini, let's see, where are we? Oh, I said Mars and Uranus conjunction in Gemini. And then, okay.
Oh, you needed me. Damn it.
Yes, I needed you to, thank you. Okay, and I didn't know if you wanted me to keep going without you here. Um, okay, so just to go to the actual transits of this is the chart for the Venus and Jupiter conjunction on June 9th, 2026. And as you can see, the United States also has Jupiter and Venus in its chart. So how they are using this Cancer stellium is the shadow aspect of Cancer is like homeland and protecting our borders and nationalism. Because the United States is using Christian nationalism as its like I don't know.
Like it's banner.
Yes, thank you. It's banner. It's like it's a way of saying like we have to protect our home. We have
It's
to.
call to arms. That's what it's like.
Yes. Thank
Yeah.
you. So then that means that the United States is going through its Jupiter and Venus return. So I think they're using it more to, expand their borders, to recruit people to ICE. ICE was created in March of 2003, the same month, same year the US invaded Iraq. So it is the imperial boomerang. So anytime the United States goes abroad and does its like imperialism there, at the same exact time the United States enacts it on their people. It's not even like we have to wait like a month for the boomerang. It's like it happens at the same time. So that's what's going on there. But I think individually you can think about using this transit, to engage in community and to make relationship, to fortify and invest in relationships. And again, this is going to be one of the things I suggest. And this is one of the transits I would suggest you start, or I mean, you should be starting already, but maybe you can do some sort of action or community care thing on that day. And then this
And
is the
which day is this
day,
again?
June 9th, 2026.
Community care. Okay. So
Some
Seal
healing
Squad.
event.
Seal Squad. Let's mark that on our cal. June 9th as a day that we will either get together digitally or physically. So let's just put that on the cal, AmandaLanders and Seal Squatters. So let's like mark it.
Wait, I love that. And it could even be like a healing event, like a sound healing event, or something that's maybe you don't even have to like talk, but you're together and you're doing an activity together.
Can we do like a what do they call it? Like a silent disco?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I've never been to a silent disco, but I really feel like I would enjoy it.
Oh my God, you would love it. It's really fun. And also everyone has like different options. So some people are like dancing to different music. It's really cool. Okay, so this is July 4th. So again, this is the Independence Day of the United States, the Mars-Uranus conjunction. And as you can see in the United States natal chart, it has Mars and Uranus in Gemini natally. So this will be the Mars-Uranus return. And returns in astrology is essentially like when the planet comes back to the position it was at birth. Okay, So we're almost through. Thank you all
And
for being
why?
here.
And why? Just one more time. Why
Sure.
is the return such a a moment of impetus?
Because it signals like a rebirth or like a new beginning. You know, in everything in nature, the life cycle, there's a death and then there's a rebirth. And so
Mm.
when, like, if you think about your birthday, a birthday is a solar return. That's when the sun goes back to its position at birth, right?
Mhm.
So you do, and I think it's funny that people are like, I don't believe in astrology. Well, you blow out a candle, right? The fire element of the sun, you make a wish, you set an intention, and you like start a new year.
Wow, you just really upended a lot of people's nonsense. You blow out a candle, it's a fire element, it's a solar return, cut it out.
Yeah.
So when you said so when you said that I'm having like a full moon moment,
Mhm.
that is because it's a completion like that I'm having in real life.
A full moon moment is when the sun is opposite the moon, and so there's like the two luminaries in astrology when they're opposite each other, there's like you see something very clearly. Something
Oh,
is like apparent,
undeniable.
undeniable. And then so with that undeniability, you choose something, you change course, you change direction.
It's I can see clearly now the rain is gone. I can see all
Exactly.
obstacles in my way. Okay.
Exactly.
It's just
Exactly.
like it's very like now I can't unsee.
Mm-hmm.
There's a path.
There's a path. Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. No pressure.
No press. No press. And then on August 12th, there's a solar eclipse in Leo. August 28th, there's a lunar eclipse in Pisces. I'm just kind of going through these just so people can have these dates, but I'm not necessarily going to go in depth. Um, August 31st, I really like because Jupiter in Leo will trine Saturn in Aries in two fire signs. And Jupiter and Saturn are the timekeepers of astrology, and they're finally coming to an exact trine. And this is a great day to like forge something that you're growing for the long term. And I really like this day to do something creative, creatively express yourself. Okay, so then the last transit of 2026, I was going to say five, oh my gosh, is between October 3rd and November 14th. There will be a Venus retrograde between the signs of Scorpio and Leo. And all retrogrades are reflection and sort of doing an audit of all the Venusian things. So Venus rules things like our value, our self-confidence, our relationships. So during the fall, we're all going to kind of go into that era where we're like, okay, what are my values? What and how do I want to invest my money and my time? And are the people in my life currently aligned to those things?
I'm just taking it off the screen so you can lean into this a bit more
Okay.
because I want people to really hear what you're saying.
Okay. Yeah. And you know, when you listen to some astrologers, they're going to say, "Oh, your ex is going to maybe pop up from the past or, you know, you're going to go through a breakup." And I think it's true, but I think the crux of a Venus retrograde is to check your values. And like it's so simple to think about like we have a finite amount of time, and money is the currency that currently we all need, right? We still live in capitalism. So how do you want to use the finite time and money that you have, and who do you want to spend your time with? And I think this is important because again, the three suggestions that I'm going to have is all sort of like about this Venus retrograde too. So I have, I think the last slide is, okay. So I have 3 remediations for 2026, and remediation in astrology is like how you address the challenging planetary placements or transits. It's about taking conscious action by engaging with the planet's themes. So I'm not an astrologer that's like
Obsessed.
I'm not like bury your head in the sand
Mhm.
or, oh, I can't wait till this transit leaves. No,
Okay.
like everything in life, there's going to be an expansion and a contraction. There's going to be a death and life, a rebirth. There's going to be light and dark. And I'm sorry not to be that person, but who said that life's going to be easy? Like,
Listen, Coldplay said, nobody said it was easy. I mean, no one ever said it would be this hard, but we'll take it back to the start.
literally, literally. So, like when you go to a Vedic astrologer or a Chinese astrologer, this is why I like the Asians because literally they'll be like,
This is
this is
why I
part.
like the Asians.
No, because literally they'll be like, this is bad luck, but this is how I can help you. And so in like Chinese astrology, that's why they use like amulets and they feng shui and like acupuncture to help remediate some of these like difficult astrological things, right? So my 3 remediations for 2026, I tried to keep it very simple, very high level. The first one is connection. Now, connection to self first and foremost. That means doing the inner healing, connecting to the divinity within you and your ancestors, and to elevate your consciousness. Because what I see a lot of in activist spaces is people don't commit to their own self growth and healing. So then they perpetuate these very trauma patterns that we're trying to break.
Yeah.
And
I
the
can I can I
micro,
can attest to that. Like
yeah,
myself. Like
yes.
I had to check myself about that. Like literally I was just feeling very emotional this morning and it was like I I feel like I am gonna allow myself to get stuck if I don't challenge myself
Mm-hmm.
to be more active outwardly with the divinity work that I've been doing inwardly.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And like, how does that show up? Like, it would have been really easy yesterday when I heard that like Joel Santana said he like literacy doesn't make sense. Like, it would have been really easy to do a video about like how dumb that is because that's like obvious, right? But
Mm-hmm.
that's not divine. Like,
Mm-hmm.
like even in what would the ancestors say? And when I was doing the show as a one woman show, I was leaning into just like the low hanging fruit of like Clarence Thomas is whack. So
Mm-hmm.
we're like making jokes about that. And then I realized like, no, if this is going to be a useful tool with art, you have to give a deeper exploration to how he became whack because the
Mm-hmm.
goal is about
Mm-hmm.
redemption, right? The
Mm-hmm.
goal is like, how do we redeem ourselves? How do we course correct? And even if it's not possible for him, how do you use his story as like a
Mm-hmm.
path for others to see through? Does that make
Yes.
sense?
Oh my God, 100%. And like, we're all such multifaceted, multidimensional people who have an origin story. We have our villain era, we have our traumatized era. And so I think, you know, that's why I always try to give people a chance because you never know like at what point of a person's journey you're like meeting them
Yes.
at. And
Yes.
that's why I think like K-pop Demon Hunters, it's about Korean shamanism. It is like each and every one of us has a demon inside of us. And it's not to like pretend that it's not there, but to transmute that part of us and allow the whole of us to shine. Like that was like the crux of
It's
that
very Carl
movie.
Jung,
Yes,
like
very Carl Jung.
I think there's also just the reality of thinking that you can shun something and it's going to go away is not actually how anything works. And
No.
that goes for you as a person too. Like when I
Mm-hmm.
think of like what was my villain era, I'm like, I feel like my villain era was when I was letting my trauma rule me,
Mm-hmm.
right? So like I am doing the whole like I have an opinion and I'm going to say it even though it's like not even really thought out. Like it's mean. It's just you're just being mean.
Mm-hmm.
But that's my trauma talking. And so now, like when I get to this point, I can recognize in other people, like, you think that's an opinion. You're just being mean. Like, and you know, maybe sit with that. Like, why does that feel like a thing that you need to do? So I love this. And by the way, I mean, no pressure, but like this right here is a framework that I could build my whole 2026 off of.
Yes.
Like this right here. So y'all don't think I just be having guests on because like I'm cool with them. No, it's people that actually like this right here is because like it's just such a, okay, tell me if you agree with me on this. I feel like the need for like super clarity and direction has just become more and more necessity in the last
100%.
Okay.
Like we were talking through Instagram DMs that like the power of our minds and the ability of manifestation, we just as a collective haven't come together. If we all sync our minds, and because what you focus on expands, right? And if everything and everywhere is already created in the quantum realm, then we can literally all be on the same synced page and have the clarity of vision of what like we want to see. And it's just that. I know people like, you know, are listening to this, if they haven't come on this journey yet, they're like, what the hell is she talking about? But but if we can manifest on the individual level, we can also manifest in the collective level. And that's what we've been doing, but we've only been manifesting the trauma and the violence and the you know, the trauma patterns from our past. That's why I keep calling it trauma patterns, because we haven't known anything else. And so that's why number 3 is creativity. Like we need to use our imagination and our ability to be so delusional that there is a timeline that is emerging, because timelines are working all at the same time, but we can't see it yet. We're all focusing our attention on the death of this thing. We're all focusing on like the ice raids and the bombing, but that is the death. That's the physical manifestation of a death of empire. But there's something else emerging that we also have to focus our attention on and start creating the structure, Saturn, the structure to let it emerge. Like
no, because this is the epiphany I had this morning. Literally, like it sounds like I'm like holding on to my bun, because this was the epiphany I had this morning. I realized that like I was in that space of just like the reporting on and the responding to the things of the now. And it's not to say that there isn't any efficacy or necessity for that, but Amanda, that's not my space. Like I'm actually, I feel like far more useful in the imagining and the building of something else, because ushering, as an artist, the ushering, like as an artist, as a leader, as a visionary, like that's where my real capabilities and gifts, like I'm smart, so I can do this other thing, but my gifts, like my supernatural gifts, are in taking something from nothing, making something from nothing.
Yes.
And actualizing. Like someone said to me the other day, like, you are the most actualizing mofo I've ever met. Because I'll be like, oh, I want to do it. And now it's done. Y'all said you wanted an AmandaLand summit, and you got an AmandaLand summit. But that, I just feel so full hearing you say that, because I think a lot of people need to hear that, to also give them permission to not be fully consumed by all of the now. Because there's, I think, there's a guilt that I think some people have about like, okay, but can I look forward? And it's like, yes, that's also a part of understanding the now.
Yes. But that's why it's important for people to grieve. You have to grieve what was and continue to do that transmuting process. That's why this is deeply spiritual work, because you can't move forward if you haven't grieved the past. So for those of us who've done that work for the last 2 years, it's our responsibility to hold the vision for the future that people don't see yet. Like there's the prophetic people that can already see that. And I feel like I'm one of those people. Like I'm already living in a timeline that's like... Not
she says this all the time.
I say this all the time. I'm like, Amanda, my consciousness is like 10 years from now, and it looks great. We just have to, and then I come back to this timeline. I'm like, okay, people, like this is what we got to do, you know? And so we need people. We need
Lyrical behaviors.
literal. Oh my God, I love that. We need those people who are the death doulas of empire. Like we need the people who are in this moment, right? We need those people. Everybody has a role. And then we need the people who are ushering in and focusing our attention. That's why we need to share our ideas.
Yes.
Like, what do you see? What does it feel like? This is all a part of like manifestation, but we have to collectively do it now.
I'm definitely having a gathering in my house.
Number 2, which is like something that I always hesitate in talking about, is community, because being in community is not easy, by the way. Everybody
I've been trying to figure out how to text
online.
somebody for like 4 days now. Who's in my community? I've been trying to figure out what to text them for 4 days.
Yes, everyone says it online, but then when I meet them in person, I'm like, you're a terrible villager. What are you talking about? Like,
you're a terrible villager is not.
That's what I say. No, I say that. I'm like, you're a terrible person. What the hell? I think community really is a commitment to self-growth and self-awareness, and having conflict resolution. 90% of people I meet are conflict avoidant. And so you cannot be in a community if you avoid conflict. I'm sorry. Like, so community and being in one is probably the most difficult thing, but we need that to organize, you know? Like and maybe you need different pockets of community. Like I have tiers and I have like different kind of communities. You have your community that you like sort of like ideate with and dream with, and you have the one that where you do like direct actions with, you know. You have ones that are like your immediate community, like your neighbors who you can call upon. So these are 3 things everybody can focus on for 2026, because based on the astrology, this is what we the people can do. Okay. So there's like this moment in July. Sorry, did you want to say something?
I just wanted to say something before you go on to like the culmination of this. By the way, Olivia,
Okay.
check your DMs in Patreon. You often say art will save us. What do you mean by that?
Okay, so I think you started to say it, like art gets us to think creatively, right? It brings us out of our current not situation, but like it allows us
off the grid.
Yes. And that's why artists are so important. That's why they defund arts first. They defund music first, right? Because for us to imagine something outside of these systems is dangerous. And so that's why I think art will save us, because like the antithesis of that is a colonial mind, which is like all of us being the same thing, all of us being beige, all of us thinking the same way. Yeah, Crate and Barrel, or what is that other one?
Pottery Barn?
Pottery Barn, thank you.
It's a Crate and Barrel Pottery Barn aesthetic. Like the fact that everything is white and the diversion is cream. Right, cream and beige. Like, if you've been to my house, well, you all have seen my house. It is defiantly anti Pottery Barn. And in Grenada, the homes are literally like every color of my shirt. And it feels, even on such a basic level, as like a strike back at colonialism, that they're like, we're going to paint these houses every freaking color possible. And there's not going to be any order to this. You know, Herbie Hancock, I met him one time, and I've talked about this before, but I'll reiterate it because it really aligns here. When I met him, I said something pretentious, like, you know, just everybody isn't an artist. And he was like, everybody's an artist. And I was like, like, what do you mean? And he said, everybody has the ability to create. Like, that's part of the human design. And we are creative in many ways. Sometimes people have to be creative because they have a lack of, and so there's necessity breeds innovation. Sometimes people are creative because they have an imagination and they want to see things happen. Sometimes people are creative because they can see things working in ways that others aren't. So he was like, you know, engineers are creative, visual artists are creative, pianists are creative. He's like, creativity and in the human form takes on many forms. And
Yeah.
when I listen to what you're saying and I look at how all of these things combine, it's like I feel like what I'm seeing is oh my god, where'd we go?
The last one? Mhm.
Connection, community, and creativity like have to merge. Like
Yes.
community being connected in a creative vision of what
Mhm.
is possible.
Yes. They're all like the Venn diagram. They're all interconnected,
Connected.
essentially. Yeah, like a place where you could start is like, what is your art practice? Because like I think when people hear creativity, they think of it so literally, like I'm painting.
For the record, Laura's an incredible artist. I just want to make that clear because that's not been put out there.
Thank you. And it just is, you came here on Earth at this specific moment in history, all of us did, to create something. And you are just the physical vessel to channel that, which is your responsibility to find the medium for, you know? So like all of us, some
Say
of
that
us.
again.
So I just got that download.
Okay.
I don't know if okay.
Okay, I think that what you were saying, like, tell me if I'm saying what you're saying. You were brought here for whatever reason, and your time here is establishing and understanding that reason and putting it into reality, putting it into
Yes.
action.
Yes. So you came here as a spiritual creative being, because we are all creators, on this specific time in history to be the vessel for that thing that you're creating, but it's your responsibility to find the right medium. So for some people it's music, for some people it's podcasting or art, literally film, it's creating children literally, or like whatever it is, like your responsibility is to figure out what your thing is.
Can we get in the woo-woo box real quick?
Yes, the woo box.
The Gaia theory
Mm-hmm.
is that, I think I've texted this to you before. Y'all need to know that Laura's my one friend that I can text. I can text Laura anything. It doesn't matter how woo-woo it is. And she'll be like, absolutely. Or she'll be like, well, I think. And I appreciate you for that. And I'm very happy that I found you.
Thank you.
The Gaia theory is that Earth is an ecosystem that is like self-healing, self-everything, which by the way is how you know Earth is feminine, because like the vagine is self-cleaning, for the record.
Yes.
So the Gaia theory, which I agree with, is that everything on Earth serves a purpose to continue the growth of Earth, to continue the existence of Earth, to continue the expansion of life, right?
Yes.
Like that's the goal. And so in that context, it's like, well, if we are here as physical beings that are in direct correlation with the Earth, like we breathe the air that plants give off, and plants breathe the air that we give off, right? So we're in direct connection with it. Then we have, like every other aspect of Earth, a purpose in the expansion of Earth and life on Earth. And so to your point, it's like, what is that, right? And what is the human version of that is enacted and done differently than necessarily like leopards or turtles, etc.? Because every animal has a purpose in the ecosystem except for humans at this point in life. Indigenous people knew that.
That's true.
Indigenous people knew, like, oh, my purpose here is to do XYZ. You know, like we're supposed to do this. Every animal has a purpose in the ecosystem. Not one of them can you be like, oh, they made a mistake with the mosquito. Like they all serve a purpose. What is ours is an individual journey as well as a collective journey. And I think what we're seeing right now is a lot more awakening to the collective awareness that we've had a lack of awareness about that. And that colonialism is what created it.
Yes. I 100% agree with that. Yeah.
All right. Well, we solved it. So
we did it. We did it.
So, you know, go forth, guys. Because every time I think for a second, even just for a moment, every time even if I just think for a moment, like maybe we're just here to die, like maybe we're just here, like maybe there's no real purpose to this, like we're just here as best as beings, and we die. Then I see something or hear someone say something that's like, nope. Because I sent Laura a video last night where this scientist is essentially like, we are all like, we're made of cells, and every single cell in our body has the same knowledge as the other cells. So he was like, that's, you can't refute that as a like very important aspect to understanding like our like role as something greater. And I'm not going to play the video yet because I know you had things to say, but I just wanted to.
Oh no, it's okay. Well, no, that's why I think to be a colonizer, if we're talking about aliens, okay, I think
Let's do it. You just made a bunch of people in the chat very happy. Like, finally, we're getting to the aliens.
They're already here, first of all. Second of all, I think there's different types of aliens, and I think because we're all interconnected literally through our cells, and we have mirror neurons, to be able to colonize and rape and pillage somebody, like people, you have to be so disconnected to your soul and your body. So I think, like, if we're tracing back the origins of colonization, I think that first one was an alien, like not of this earth, basically.
Listen, so one time me and comedian Sam J, we were having brunch at the Moon Tower Comedy Festival in Austin, Texas. By the way, guys, I was a whole stand-up comic for 13 years. Hilarious. So we were at brunch and she was like, these white people are aliens, man. And I was like, expound. And she was like, yeah, because I mean, how is it that they the only ones that the sun be messing up? It just be messing them up. And she went on this whole rant about it. And then she ended up putting it in a special that she did on HBO. But I've never forgotten it because it started as her just having a conversation with me. Like, I don't know, man. It's not adding up. Like, how do people just don't care? Like, that, it don't make sense.
Doesn't make sense.
Like, to your point, when I see behaviors in certain folks, I'm just like, that doesn't feel human. Like, I don't feel like that. Feels like you are the descendant of something other than, and then it's like, because it just, and maybe Laura, maybe we're just saying this because we don't want to believe that humans can be bad. But I also like to believe that there's really no limitations to what you can believe.
Yeah, but also okay, yeah. I do believe in the alien thing too, but also I do believe in dark energies, and people like Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg, like Peter Thiel, Donald J. Trump. Like, I do think you give up your soul in exchange for power. And I do think there's something to that too.
Well, they're all part of like cults, you know, and organizations that are ancient and that have practiced the cult. We know. So let me just say something that's not woo-woo. People are going to think it's woo-woo, but it's not. The earth is power.
Yes.
The earth is magnetized. Like, the earth is an actual functioning, it is emitting power all the time. So the idea that there are people who have been able to harness that power is honestly, the idea that people look at that as like some crazy notion is stupid to me. There's power in plants, which is through the power of plants. Like, there's electromagnetic power. Literally, they've done a study that like tribal elders in, I think it was the Lakota tribe. I'm always like, I think it was the Lakota tribe. Like, they did a test between like rain dances
Mm-hmm.
and like seeding the clouds, and the rain dances were more effective at creating the rain because when they actually like got to the bare bones of the electromagnetic, the people had like traditions had cultivated over time an ability to understand what rotations and formations that they need to be dancing in to whip up the electromagnetic power of the earth.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So like none of this is subjective, you guys. Like this isn't like, oh, Amanda, she's out of here. Like, no, this is just the facts. That's we also have seen it, like windmills, hydropower, all of this is using the power of the earth. So
Mm-hmm.
if we see all of that and then we know that, then we know that there are people who can use that for ill.
Oh, well, they were like psychics that were named in the Epstein files. Like they used these psychics to do remote viewing, to do some sort of like, spells and witchcraft. So yeah, of course. I don't know why we're.
Like I don't, because people love to like say keep themselves safe because they don't know that power, but the power is there. And I just feel like the trick of these folks has been to convince us that we don't have access to that power for
Mm-hmm.
good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes, there's also electricity in our bodies. Like our bodies are literally electric. It's electric.
Yes.
Boogie woogie woogie. I was doing my 20 minutes of movement because I do 20 minutes of movement every day now. And this
Good.
morning I was doing my 20 minutes of movement and I was electric sliding by myself. And when I tell y'all, I was having
A ball.
the cats and the dog were like,
They're all
"Look at her."
staring at you like.
Yes. Jordy was literally just sitting on the couch like, "You enjoying yourself?" I'm like, "Ooh." So, that's why like when people like poo-poo on astrology, I'm like, you're missing the point. Anything that colonizers have rendered as nonsense, you should be learning.
Because they're using it on you. So,
Yes.
Yikes. I love when people are like, don't bring politics into this. I'm like, well, politics is doing you, honey. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
I don't know what to tell you. All of it is like someone said, like Rolando said Bible here. Like there's astrology in the Bible. Like
Yes. Mm-hmm.
all over the place.
All over the place. That star that the three magi followed, what do you think that is?
Just so correct me if I'm wrong, anybody in the comments. This is going to be a quick dovetail. After the magi gave the gifts, did they just bounce? Because I'm just wondering how you show up with gifts to a manger and none of those gifts can actually help you like get a better crib, right? Because like maybe gold, but like who knows if they even use gold in that part of the world. And like, so like after you see me in this manger, you bounced. You didn't say like, yo, y'all, let me see, because we're also like the magi, they're nomadic, but like that means they got a whole squad. I just find that part of the story is just. And then I read something the other day, Laura Chung, that said the story of Jesus and all of that was in 8 other religions prior to Christianity. The whole setup, the whole birth, the whole situation was the cornerstone of 8 religions prior to the birth of Christianity. So it was just like,
oh, like the same exact story with the same people?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I'm just like, that part of the story as a kid was always like, so hold up. Away in a manger. No room for a bed. The little Lord Jesus laid down his sweet head.
Yeah, well, they were like fleeing. They were like, they're gonna kill us.
But then the magi popped up and left them there, bro.
Yeah, well, maybe the magi, how we interpret the magi in astrology are the magicians. Like they're people who study astrology and they, that's why they followed the star. So I don't know if they had real power at that time. I know, somebody correct me if I'm wrong.
I just feel like if you're rolling up with gold, you could get another house, another crib in the inn. I don't know. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. These are the types of things as a child I was very disturbed by. I could never get past that. And
Yeah,
that's when
like
I
the
knew,
math was not mathing.
no, and that's when I knew, like, oh, this is allegory. This
Mhm.
isn't, maybe they just envisioned these three folks popping up because
Well,
who would just leave this baby here?
I studied the historical Jesus, like outside of the Bible, and like
Mhm.
that the three magi were actual people, But yeah, I could see
And
how
also,
that's confusing.
we never got teenage Jesus.
Hmm.
We never got teen Jesus. We got teen wolf. We
Mm-hmm.
got teen witch. We
Mm-hmm.
never got teen JC.
Mm-hmm.
And
Someone
I
write a
just
fan
feel,
fiction.
write a fan fiction, make the apostles have matching jackets. I mean, I'd actually watch that. Like, I'd actually watch that. Like, the Lion's Den is really like, is more, it's like he gets trapped in like the locker room of the like opposing team and their mascot is the lions.
Mm-hmm.
And so he has like a really deep conversation with like the mascot. Like, I can do all
Mm-hmm.
of this, y'all. I can do this for days. Like, Daniel's over there. He's like, Daniel, what happened? He's like, oh my God, the lions. So I don't know how we got here. I'm not even worried about it. But is there anything else that you would like to impart to us, the brilliant
Mm-hmm.
Laura Chung?
Well, does anybody have questions? I guess, yeah, just like I went over the dates of 2026. So you want to mark those dates in your calendar, think about how you want to use those energies. Again, like remediation is to use the planetary energy in a conscious way versus just like hiding away and being like, okay, I'm just gonna bury my head in the sand for the rest of 2026. And those three things I suggested for you to cultivate, so connection, community, creativity, and yeah, that's,
All right.
I
Well, we're
guess,
waiting on some
TBD.
questions.
Okay, I guess TBD until like 2026 actually starts to unfold.
Is there anything about this year that you want people to really see as like, that you want people to really change their relationship to? Like, for instance, I love when you talk about that. It's like it can be a challenge versus a hindrance.
Mm-hmm.
Can you just like speak to that a bit more? Because we're entering challenging times.
Yes.
And I really like your perspective on that.
So I teach astrology, right? So there's this thing in astrology called essential dignities where it is based on a colonial language, because you have to think about when astrology was founded through ancient times, there was such thing at that time still of slavery and colonization, right? So the language is very colonial. We talk about rulerships, planets that rule certain signs, and then planets that are in detriment or exile. And I always say, like, I use this as a metaphor for like planets that are in rulership. So let's say Saturn is at home in the signs of Capricorn and Aquarius. I don't like to use language of like good or bad or negative or positive, but maybe better resourced. So planets in their domicile are like white Americans in America, right? The systems,
Mm.
they are entitled because the systems also support their identity, right? And then planets in their exile, so that's like Saturn in Leo and Saturn in Cancer. They're challenging because, like immigrants to the United States, they don't know the language, they don't know the traditional rules and culture. But what makes immigrants so unique is they're creative. And I just look at my parents as like immigrants to this country. They came here without knowing the language in their early 20s. Yes, they had to work harder because they had to work in New York City in their early 20s, but they are the most resilient, creative, funny people to me. And because I ask my parents all the time, I'm like, are you not scared of like what's going on? And they're kind of like,
I know,
like,
it's fascinating.
Americans have no idea what we left, the country that we left, like, And so when I look at them, I'm like, oh, they're just like, yeah, like just creative. So I think when there's a difficult transit, you want to look at it as like the grain of sand against the pearl. It's like annoying, maybe. It's a little challenging. You're a little uncomfortable, but in the end of it, you're going to be the best version of yourself at that, the most conscious, maybe. And that's why I say, like, don't turn away from feeling uncomfortable or the challenges, because, like, you could be one transit away from becoming the best version of yourself. And then when you're able to sort of stand up and face your fears, you are invited onto shows like AmandaLand, like I would never have made it this far if I just stood in the sidelines and remained silent. It's because I was outspoken about Palestine. It's because I
Yeah.
continue to show up that people trust me enough to invite me on, and it helps me to do my own mission here on earth. So that's my little pep talk.
So we do have some questions. I do want to say though that we had the dovetail we went on was because you were like, I believe that the aliens, I believe that the first colonists were aliens. And that
Oh
aliens were
yeah,
here.
sorry.
I was like, how did we get here? Oh,
That
right,
always
yeah.
happens. I always go on a side quest. Sorry.
Those are the best. Those are the best. Okay.
Oh.
Hamid asked, since 2026 is so fire sign heavy, how are the movements going to impact and position air, earth, and water signs?
How are the movements going to impact and
I think
position
position
air?
is as a typo, but I think he's meaning like
Okay.
how are they going to impact the other signs? Like,
Oh, God. Okay.
yeah.
So if you know your rising sign and you have a fire or air sign, then the energies of this year are going to be more conducive for you. They're going to help you feel more energized. They're going to help you feel more like, oh, I have momentum behind my sails. Whereas like the last 3 years, there was a lot of water in the air. So that was actually helping the water and earth signs.
For
But water
rising.
for rising and placements. And so water and earth are feminine signs. This was about like coming into oneself, to do the healing work,
Yeah.
to be more still, to do, grief work, and to be more in the feminine energy. And now these are the years for the fire signs to go out there and take action. So if you're an earth and water sign, the next like 3 years are going to be more, I think all of us are going to have to take action, but maybe for you, it's like different, right? So it's not so outwardly, but maybe it's more like internal, working with some of your fears around speaking up, perhaps, challenging some of your limiting beliefs or calcified belief systems. So everyone has to do that work, but yeah.
I've been dancing with the idea of teaching what I would call a course on confrontation.
Ooh,
And it
that's
would
a good
be
one.
like a course that addresses confrontation like in historical and current instances, like within geopolitical like challenging, as well as looking at that with ourselves and like
Mhm.
asking folks to then do self-exploration about what they have been avoidant around.
Ooh, that's such a good one.
And then the
Yes.
third part would be role playing.
Yes. That's very important.
So this
Mhm.
is something I've been like toying with, and I see people in the chat like, yes, please.
Yes.
Yes, sir, more food, sir. Please, sir. Because I do, you said something earlier and you said it just now that confrontation is definitely contextualized as negative. We know why, because they want a passive populace.
Mhm.
However, it's also at the reality though is that we have been trained not to be that.
Oh, we've been trained to be obedient to the system since we were kids.
I mean, this is why I've been getting in trouble all my life. I never get in enough trouble to get like, I've only been disobedient, but I've never been like a ruffian. But
Mm.
but teachers either love me or were like, who is this broad? And it's like, I'm 7. I'm 7. Relax. Okay.
Oh my
X-Ray
God.
Dove asks, do you have a response when people claim quote unquote new age practices like astrology and yoga are of the devil? I have family members thinking I'm a dark because I
I'm sorry.
meditate.
I'm not laughing at you.
We're
'cause
laughing with you.
We're laughing with you. It's so funny that that is the response because all of our indigenous practices have cosmologies. Like I happen to practice the Western tropical system, but like I guarantee your ancestors had their own way of looking at the stars and a system that was demonized because again, they demonize it because it breaks our connection to the natural cycles.
Yep.
So like for me, astrology was really to help me break free of the system of capitalism and how they impose their timelines and all of this stuff onto you, and you're just like, wait a minute, why is it late? Like, as a 40 something woman, like why are they telling me that I'm a geriatric person? It's like
Right.
when in astrology, after the age of like 44, you're actually rising in your life, like, so yeah.
Wait, really?
Yes, they're called annual perfection years. So 44, 45, 46, 47, 40. They're like you're at the top of your chart. So yeah, but then you have like these people being like, "Oh, you're too old," and and you're just like, "Shut up." No, I'm
Well, that's what
not.
I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like they're like, you're not that girl. And I'm like, I'm more that girl now than I ever was.
Literally. That's why you see like mid 40 women, like now they're divorcing their husbands. Now they're having their like crash outs because you're told since you're young to center men, center marriage, serve your family, do all these things. And it's like, wait, who said? Like, who said?
I have a homegirl who does like a podcast with other women, and they did an episode about divorce because one of the women on the podcast is getting a divorce, and they had a divorce lawyer. No, they had a notary on a notary on, and she was like, I cannot stress to you all how my business is booming because so many women are getting divorced.
Yeah.
She was like, that's literally why my business is booming, is because I keep getting called to come and do notary services for divorce papers and for filings and whatnot. And it's something, the percentage is nuts. It's like it was 30% 5 years ago, and now it's 60%. Like it's something bazonkers, and it's all women.
Yeah. I would 100% believe it just from my own like friends and family. Did I answer that question, by the way? The person that asked that question?
You did, but I mean, I feel like you didn't give like a specific quippy, like, well, which you are capable of doing.
Well, I did say that they demonize these practices to cut us off from our own like practices that connect us back to ourselves and nature.
I think there's also just something to be said about, like, if they really want to have a conversation, like, what do you think you're doing when you're praying? You're meditating. Praying is meditating. And at the end of the day, if you have a Jesus that a lot of people are religious, but they don't, it was handed to them. So they don't know necessarily like where it came from. So they're studying someone else's belief system versus cultivating their own. But I think the answer to them is mind your business.
Yeah.
I think that's really the mind your business. And when they say new age, your very basic response can be, everything I'm doing is older than everything you're going to study on Sunday.
Literally.
That's your quick and dirty.
Literally.
Rolando, who is one of our moderators and gets the trolls out quick.
Rolando.
Yes. How did you know he was one of the girls?
Oh, I didn't. I just
Yes.
want to say it like that.
You nailed it, Rolando.
Alonzo.
Miss Chung, I'm a big fan. Doesn't a return of Jupiter bring expansion? I think one of your slides showed America's coming up.
Yes. Yes. Well, we're in it now. The
Okay.
United States is in its Jupiter return. And if you have Jupiter in Cancer or Jupiter in Leo, then you personally are going through your Jupiter return. So it happens in increments of 12. So if you're 36, 48, oh my gosh, 60, then you're going through your Jupiter return.
I went through that. It was a time.
Yeah, it was a time.
It was a time. Okay. Now, some people are getting very specific, and I need y'all to stop doing this. Like, pay for the reading. Okay. Pay for the reading. This is
Or
her
join my
skill,
class.
or
Yeah.
join her class. Like, this is her
Mhm.
skill. But for the sake of promotion,
Mhm.
this question. Morning, Miss Chung. Double Taurus, living on my Chiron line for years, feeling like moving through mud and depleted, but need to get out of LA and the US. Any ideas on how to connect to needed Aries energy?
Ooh,
First of
that
all,
is
what's a Chiron line?
so she is referring, sorry, I assumed
They?
that.
Well, I saw Denise,
They
but
they are referring to astrocartography, which you can actually find an astrocartographer to find the best like line for you to live
like
on.
like longitude, latitude, you mean?
Mhm. Like you basically put your birth information into the map of the world, and so you could see like um but it really is like based on the planet and your intention of that place. Because if you want to, let's say, have more discipline, you would move to a Saturn line. If you want to, something like this. Um, so I would find an astrocartographer that aligns with you and ask them, what is the best place for me based on like your intention, like what you want out of a place. And yeah, I think that's the best way you can go.
I would be so curious to see where mine lined up and line up, because I've moved at very specific times in my life,
Mhm.
and they have been very fortuitous.
Ooh,
Word of the
that was the
day.
word. Yeah, the word of the day.
But my mom has also moved, and she always says, "Mans, it's like everything had to line up a particular way for you to get here." And it's not like she was in one place. It's like she literally had to like go through a series of places to like end up in the place where my dad was for me to be born. So it's not like anything even came to her. It's like she had to
Mhm.
go through a path. So I would be so curious to chart her astrological her,
Astrocartography.
her
Yeah.
astrocartography, because it's very like doo, 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 doo.
Yes. I also find because like there's ley lines all over the world, and I
I heard
often
about
find
this.
that places call to me. So like I felt very called since 2024 to go to Korea again because I went in October 2024
Yes.
and I tried going last year, but it just didn't work out. But I was like, I have to go. I have to go. And it was like the place was like pulling me. So I would also suggest like feeling into your intuition in your body of the places that are calling to you too. Because I do think that specific place and the energy of that place is part of the growth in the moment.
Do you know any astrocartographers?
My teacher, Sam Reynolds, who is like an iconic astrologer, Sam Reynolds. Mhm.
Okay, I'm gonna look up Sam Reynolds because
Yes, look him up.
I'm muy curioso
You
about
muy
that.
curioso.
And people are muy curioso about where they can sign up for the class. So let me make a banner to put on the bottom of the page. Where can they sign up?
Through my website, laurakchung.com, and it's under the tab Star School. And we start next Wednesday. Mercury's day is Wednesdays. And that's why I was like, oh, did you do this on purpose? Your podcast on Wednesdays?
No, but I find that when well, you know this because you've told me this, but like I literally like sat with what feels like the right day. And then I remember asking folks and
Mm-hmm.
people were like, Wednesday feels like the right day. Wednesday feels like
Mm-hmm.
the right day. And I was like, okay. Because my natural capitalist mind is Monday.
But that's the moon's day.
And now I try
Mm-hmm.
to not do anything on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm trying to treat Monday as like, well, I'm trying to treat my whole life as a retiree, but that's another conversation for another time. Because I honestly like thought about it the other day and I was like, I've been working since I was 8. I've been paying taxes since I was 8. I've been hustling, like literally like my entire entity has been moving in the context of how do I advance these gifts?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to think like that. I don't want to exist like that anymore.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Child star?
Yeah.
Wow.
Child star. And like, not just like child star, like, because even if I wasn't child star like Doogie Howser, it was still like I missed out on certain stuff because I was doing that.
Right.
Like
Right,
I got
right.
pulled out of like our 5th grade trip to Wakaivo River Park because my mom pulled up and was like, you have to go audition for a cop and a half. And I cried the whole way there.
Mm-hmm.
And then I did the audition and she was like, how was it? I was like, who cares? I mean, I booked it.
Oh, I was gonna say, did you sabotage?
No, I mean, I always book the stuff, but like I was in gymnastics and the coach said I was going to get to work out with the older girls that day. And it was like a huge big deal. And my mom was like, yeah, no, we're going to audition for a show at Nickelodeon.
Oh my God. And you got that, right?
My brother and me. But you have to walk like really far from the parking lot to the audition place. Cried the whole way there. And my mom was like, oh my God. And then I got it together and went in, read, and then I booked it. So
you're just like naturally talented.
It's not even that. It's literally like a trade. Like acting for me is like something I learned at DeVry. You know what I mean? It's just like a skill that I just have. I can
at
put
DeVry?
Yeah, like I can just like if all else fails, like anybody an actor, because I can do.
Yeah.
So, but it's just I don't want to hustle anymore. So Mondays are moon days.
They're moon days.
It doesn't mean I'm not working. It doesn't mean I'm not using my gifts. It just means I'm changing my relationship to them.
That's good.
And you guys, Laura K. Chung's astrology class is incredible. I took it and I feel like one of the notes that I want to give all of you is it's not something you can do passively. Don't go and take the class and think that you're just showing up to just like lollygag or gallivant, as a Caribbean parent would say. Go there with the spirit of learning and with the spirit of estudiante. Okay.
Yeah.
And I think that I wish I had approached it that way from day one. Like I was present, but I didn't have my mind in like student mode.
Yeah. Like I need to take this like seriously and study and yeah.
Like I take in information differently when I'm there as a student versus there as a listener. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I feel like I was listening as someone lecturing, but I needed to be there as a flippin' student. So, you guys don't play yourselves is my point. And for the record, Laura K. Chung will tell you we did that in the last class. So you weren't here for that.
And I'm gonna push you because I'm an Aries, so I'm gonna be like, this. Did you study?
You taught the last class. That was your first time teaching that class in this particular way, right?
Yes, the first.
What do you feel like you're bringing into this one that you learned from the last one?
So I added 3 extra like study hall sessions, 1 per month, so that people could have a moment to catch up and ask questions. And then I also have a
Wow.
TA now. I have somebody who's going to help me. She's going to make worksheets and
What?
yeah, so I took the suggestions of the first class very seriously because I do want, again, my intention for teaching is that people are armed with the tools to not only understand the theory, but take that theory and actually like be able to read charts on their own. Because I personally am not of the like a mind that you should just be listening to everyone's opinions. What's your opinion? Like, how do you see this transit? You know, like
Right.
you have to take responsibility for your life. And so I'm like, the best way to do that is to teach people how to fish versus like, I'm just going to tell you the astrology of 2026 and this is how you should use it. No,
Yeah.
like, how are you going to use it?
I mean, I had a therapist one time tell me, you know, your job is to have your feelings, and my job is to interpret them for you. And you're just sitting back and enjoying the ride. And I was like, absolutely not. Last time I'm seeing you. But I thought you'd really appreciate this. Kezi K247 says, for some people, astrology seems like a luxury in times when people are trying to survive. But today showed me astrology can be a tool for survival or maintenance, maybe renewal, amongst other things. Heart.
Wow. I'm honored. I'm honored.
I feel like this was just a great way to come back into the fold of Views from AmandaLand in this new colonizer year of 2026. So thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
I've been saying Happy Colonizer New Year to people and watching people do the math and science in their head and then
They're
be
like,
like, and then they're like, oh yeah, you're right. Yeah.
yeah.
And then some people are like, why? And I'm like, I've got the answer prepared for you. It will be on my next
Ooh.
Substack.
Ooh.
So you guys, you know what to do. Go to laurakchung.com, go to the Star School tab, and you can also get readings from Laura K. Chung. So there's like 3 different
Yes.
types of readings. So make sure you read what each reading type is so that you will get the one that you want. Okay.
Mhm.
And again, thank you, Laura, for being so fab.
Thank you so
and
much. Thank you to your
giving us your time and
community. Everyone
knowledge.
is so, when I see Amanda Landers out in the wild, everyone is so lovely. Thank you.
Yay, you guys, you're representing us well. Bye, Laura. I love hearing that you guys are out in the wild and behaving yourselves and representing. Amanda.